Lincoln Riley came out and said that USC will be at the top of the Big Ten going into this season here.
Listen to this shit, Steve. I can't believe he said it.
I mean, we are at the top of the Big Ten conference. I mean, we're at the top of any conference. I don't ever look at ourselves below anybody, and I never will.
How?
You know, listen, 2 years ago, look where Ohio State and Oregon were 2 years ago. You know, look what they took over. Look what we took over. You know, I mean, it takes time. You know,
that's a shot at Clay Helton.
I can't wave a magic wand and everything just be perfect right away. But find one area that we had to make progress.
Defense. Like he ain't watching the game. Well, he's making excuses right now for his poor season.
That guy right there is the epitome of a slapdick. I'm just telling you straight out. We don't get along again. Of course, another guy that don't get along with. But I'm gonna be honest. That guy is one of the biggest. He's one of those guys out there, man. I'm gonna leave it.
He's also taking away credit from Dan Lanning, in my opinion. Like he mentioned Oregon, he said, look where Oregon was 2 years ago, and look where I was.
He's taking credit away from the prior coach, Steve. Is he not taking a shot here? Who did he replace? Helton?
Well, okay, he replaced Helton. Oregon was actually in a pretty good place with Mario Cristobal. I mean, people forget it.
I think that's what he's saying, Steve. He's saying, like, look what Dan Lanning took over. Basically, he took over a good situation, so no wonder why they're playing well. Look what I took over.
Look, I think the talk of Lincoln doing the worst job in America is a little bit overblown. Look, his first year, they were a game away from going to the playoffs, but they lost to Utah a couple times. But the second one where they got blown out in Las Vegas is the one that sent them kind of into this tailspin. Look, he did an interesting thing. He hired the crosstown coordinator in DeAnton Lynn. So there is an emphasis now more on defense than there had been. Now, do they have a lot to? No. They're going to have to recruit a guy like him, right? But Lincoln Riley, to me, has been a little bit of a disappointment. And I want to see if the quarterback this year, who's more of a workman-like guy, he's not going to bring the issues of Caleb Williams, who was a great college player. But here's the issue that I have. He is now going to go through a gauntlet of more physical teams in cold weather venues moving on into the future in October and November, right? I wonder if that style of play, if he does not get more physical players, how will that be sustainable over the long term?
Yeah. Time will tell, and we shall see, man. Like I said, I mean, you have the number one quarterback in the world last year. You go out there, you win, 8 games. You don't look good in a lot of those losses as well. There's no excuse for that. Your defense has looked pathetic everywhere you've been at. I just think you got to look yourself in the mirror and be able to just, tell it like it is. Like, hey, we need to make some improvements. I haven't done a good job at either, whether it's hiring on the defensive side or just putting a focus on the defensive side when it comes to practice. I just don't like the going out there and trying to like make an excuse as to why your teams have lacked. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that mindset as my leader and as my head coach.
Steve, I'm gonna be honest. Like, what has he done at USC? You're USC. You're a blue blood already. Not like you inherited Miami of Ohio.
Heisman, he won 11 games. Yeah.
They have a Heisman Trophy. I know USC fans don't like to claim it, but that trophy is at Heritage Hall. Okay. So they did win 11 games his first year. The loss to Tulane was terrible, but again, everyone's sitting out. I don't know what bowl games mean anymore. This is a big year. Look, I don't believe Lincoln Riley's on the hot seat. They've put too much into this. But the next 2 to 3 years, he has got to be able to set a foundation where they can be in the top third of the Big Ten. Now, keep this in mind. Under a 12-team playoff now, you basically can be a 2-loss team and make the playoffs, right? You don't really have to chase perfection anymore, unfortunately. So that's going to be the goal. Can he be a top 5 Big Ten team?
Mediocrity is a new excellence, so
it is.
Look, I wouldn't be surprised if 3-loss teams were in there, and then we'll add 14 teams, and then
that's SEC. An SEC 3-loss team can get in there. I don't think any other conference can do that.
And speaking of mediocrity, JB, I believe during this press conference, it's a poll question.
The fans want to know because Steve Kim has ate my food.
Okay,
go ahead, Bailey. Show it.
Show it, Bailey. Jump in, Bailey. Go ahead, show it.
Steve Kim judge this.
Lincoln Riley's brisket.
about your smoked
shit, that's
Easter
dry.
brisket. Just curious if you're still working on your barbecue skills out in LA.
I need to improve my photography skills, not my barbecue skills. So
No, you don't. You can tell everything.
You look dry, don't it?
It's dry as shit. It's dry as like porn star. I'm gonna be honest, Steve. You've had my brisket. What looks better?
I mean, you know, I'm going to go with you. Look, that looks about as bad as his defense. I don't know what, and there's no defending that. So,
Hey, Steve, a clever dude, ain't he?
Oh, yeah,
He's a clever cat. He's
Yeah.
clever.